Hi, I'm Emma. I'm 36 years old, and I work as a project manager at a small marketing agency. I never thought my life would become a story like this. But everything changed when my younger brother picked up my daughter's gift and called it cheap, worthless trash. That sentence didn't just land on the wrapping paper. It landed on my child's heart. And on mine. Adam has been the golden child for as long as I can remember. Growing up, if he broke something, it was an accident. If I raised my voice, I was dramatic. If he failed at something, we rallied around him. If I struggled, I was told to be strong and handle it. I got so used to stepping aside that I didn't notice when I started doing it as an adult too. But there was one person who never saw Adam that way, my daughter, Lily. She's 10, small for her age, with big brown eyes and a habit of twisting her hair when she's nervous. She loves drawing. She loves making little handmade cards for people. For some reason, she adored her Uncle Adam, maybe because he was funny and loud and always seemed like the center of the room. The week before his birthday, Lily kept asking me the same question. Mom, do you think Uncle Adam will like it? Do you think he'll really like it? She had decided to make him a special gift instead of buying one. Money was tight. Being a single mom in a city where everything feels overpriced is like constantly juggling glass. One wrong move and everything might shatter. But Lily never made me feel guilty about it. She would just say, "It's okay, homemade is better anyway." She spent hours decorating a plain sketchbook we bought on sale. She drew little inside jokes with Adam on the cover. Then she made a drawing of the two of them at the park, where he had once pushed her on the swings for a whole hour. She told me that was her favorite memory with him. The day of his birthday, our small house felt full and loud. My parents were there, smiling like they always did around Adam. My mom had cooked way too much food, insisting we celebrate properly. Adam showed up late, wearing an expensive watch and talking about his new car. He hugged our parents first, joked with them, and finally turned to Lily. "Hey, kiddo," he said, ruffling her hair. "Got something for me?" Lily's cheeks turned pink. She picked up the gift from the coffee table and held it out with both hands. "I made something for you, Uncle Adam." I watched her, my chest tight, silently praying, "Please be kind. Just this once, be kind." Adam tore the paper without even looking at her. The sketchbook slid out, the drawing falling onto his lap. For a brief second, I saw his face go blank. Then he smirked. "No way," he said loudly. "This is it." The room went quiet. Lily's hands tightened at her sides. "It's a sketchbook," she said, her voice small. I drew on the cover, and I made a drawing inside. Of us. That day in the park. Adam picked up the drawing between two fingers as if it was something sticky. "This is, what, some cheap notebook? And a kid drawing?" He let out a short laugh. "Come on, Em. You couldn't even get something real. This is cheap, worthless trash." He tossed the drawing back on the table. My heart dropped. I wanted to scream, but I stayed quiet. For a second, I couldn't move. I just stared at Lily's face as her smile broke in slow motion. Her eyes went glassy. Her chin trembled. My mom jumped in with a high, nervous laugh. "Oh, Adam, don't be rude." She put effort into it. "Lily, sweetheart, don't mind your uncle. He's just joking." But he wasn't joking. "Not really, My dad cleared his throat. "You know how your uncle is," he said to Lily, almost scolding her instead of him. "Don't get upset over small things." "Small things." I forced myself to smile. "It's a thoughtful gift, Lily," I said, my voice too bright. "I love it. And I'm sure your uncle is just surprised." Adam rolled his eyes and moved on, already focused on the expensive watch our parents handed him next. He praised that loudly. He hugged them. He posted it on social media. Lily sat down beside me, her shoulders hunched. She didn't reach for food. She didn't speak. She just stared at her plate. I put my arm around her, but she felt stiff. All through dinner. My parents kept the conversation going as if nothing had happened. They asked Adam about his job, his gym routine, his weekend plans. No one asked Lily about her drawing. No one told Adam to apologize. Something felt wrong, but I couldn't prove it in that moment. I just knew that if I exploded then, I'd be called oversensitive, dramatic, the problem. So I swallowed my anger like a stone. It sat heavy in my chest. After everyone left and the house went quiet, I found Lily in her room. She was sitting on the floor, the empty sketchbook that was supposed to be Adam's gift now lying beside her. She had a pencil in her hand, but she wasn't drawing. "Hey," I said softly, sitting down next to her. Can I see what you're working on? She shrugged. I'm not working on anything. I hated the way her voice sounded, flat, tired, too old for 10. About earlier, I began. Your uncle was wrong. Your gift wasn't trash. It was beautiful. You put your heart into it. She kept looking at the carpet. Maybe I should have bought something, she whispered. Like a real gift. Maybe he doesn't like kid stuff. A real gift? I repeated, my chest burning. Sweetheart, your gift was real. It was made with love. That's the realest thing there is. She was quiet for a long time. Then she asked, very softly, Mom, if my gift was cheap and worthless, does that mean my love is cheap and worthless too? A cold fear ran through me. No, I said immediately, pulling her into my arms. No, absolutely not. Your love is the most valuable thing in the world. Don't ever let anyone make you feel otherwise. Not even family. But as I held her, I realized this wasn't the first time Adam had said something cruel, and everyone had smoothed it over. This wasn't the first time my parents had told someone to not be so sensitive instead of asking him to be kinder. It was just the first time. His words had hit my child like that. And suddenly, all those small moments I brushed aside didn't feel small anymore. They felt like cracks. And I was starting to see how close we were to breaking. Part 2, expanded outline 2. 1,000 words. I wish I could tell you that after that night, everything changed. That my parents saw the pain in Lily's eyes and confronted Adam. That he realized he'd gone too far and apologized. But that's not what happened. Instead, everyone acted like I was the one making things bigger than they were. Again, a few days after the birthday, I called Adam. My hands were shaking as I held the phone. Hey, I said, trying to keep my voice calm. We need to talk about what you said to Lily. He sighed loudly. Oh my God, are we still on that? Yes, I replied. We are. You called her gift trash. She heard you. It hurt her. You need to apologize. He laughed as if I had told him a joke. Kids need to toughen up. The world isn't going to coddle her. If she cries over a comment about a drawing, how is she going to survive real life? My heart dropped. That was not a comment about a drawing, Adam. That was you calling her effort and love worthless. You're overreacting, he snapped. Again, you always do this. You look for reasons to be offended. Maybe if you weren't such a helicopter mom, she wouldn't be so soft. I wanted to scream, but I stayed quiet for a moment, gripping the phone so hard my knuckles ached. This isn't about me, I said. It's about the way you treat my daughter. It's not a joke. It's cruel. Then don't bring her around me if you don't like my sense of humor. He shot back. Problem solved. The call ended with him hanging up on me. Later that night, my mom called. Emma, what did you say to your brother? He's upset. I closed my eyes. He hurt Lily. I asked him to apologize. He didn't mean it, she insisted. You know how he is. He has a sharp tongue. But he loves Lily. Don't make this into a big family drama. There it was. The familiar pattern. Adam hurt someone. I tried to address it. Suddenly, I was the problem for not just letting it go. Days turned into weeks. Every time we saw Adam, my stomach tightened. He started making little comments whenever he noticed my discomfort. If I brought snacks to a gathering, he'd say, careful. I might have gotten this from the discount section again. And glance at Lily. If someone complimented Lily's drawings, he would smirk and say, just don't give them as gifts, right? People laughed. Some awkwardly, some genuinely. No one stopped him. Every joke was a small cut. And every time Lily flinched a little more, I watched her change in front of me. She stopped leaving her drawings on the fridge. She stopped asking me to buy sketchbooks. Her room, once filled with doodles taped to the wall, started looking bare. One evening, I found a crumpled page in her trash can. It was a drawing of her and Adam at the park. The same scene she once said was her favorite memory. She had drawn a big X over his face. A cold fear ran through me. Lily, I asked gently later as we washed dishes together, you haven't been drawing much lately. Is everything okay? She shrugged. I'm just not good at it. That's not true, I said. You're talented. She kept scrubbing the plate. If I was good, he would have liked it. My throat tightened. I didn't know how to explain to her that his opinion was broken. Not her art. Things came to a head at a family dinner a few weeks later. We were at my parents' house. It was supposed to be a casual Sunday meal. The kind where everyone talked over each other and my mom insisted we eat more. And my dad repeated the same jokes he'd been telling for 20 years. Adam was in a mood that day. Loud, extra sarcastic, filling every silence with some remark at someone's expense. He made a joke about our cousin's weight, about our aunt's cooking, about my dad's hearing. Everyone laughed, even when it was uncomfortable. Then he turned his aim at me. "So, he said, leaning back in his chair. "Still working that same little office job? Project something?" "Project manager," I replied. "Yes," he raised his eyebrows. "Wow, so brave. Truly inspiring how you stayed in the same place for years. Meanwhile, some of us like to actually aim high." I felt my face flush. Before I could respond, he added, "But hey, as long as it pays for those bargain bin gifts and off-brand snacks, right?" My mom chuckled weakly. "Adam," he wasn't done. "You know what the problem is with being raised by a single mom?" He said, looking right at me and then at Lily. "Too much emotion. Not enough backbone. Whole house full of feelings and no one to show them how the real works." The table went quiet. I could feel Lily stiffen beside me. Her hand tightened around her fork. My heart pounded in my ears. "Stop," I said quietly. Adam smirked. "What? Did I hit a nerve?" "Enough," I repeated, louder this time. "You don't get to insult me or my daughter under the excuse of jokes or the real world." My dad frowned. "Emma, not at the table. Why not?" I asked, my voice shaking. "He gets to say whatever he wants at the table." Adam rolled his eyes. "There she goes," he said. "Drama queen Emma, making it all about her. I swear you've always been jealous." "Jealous?" I repeated, stunned. "Jealous of what, Adam?" He shrugged. "That mom and dad helped me. That I took risks. That people like me. You've always been the responsible one, the boring one. Now you're bitter." My mind flashed back to all the times I had bailed him out. The credit card debt I helped pay when he was in his 20s. The time he crashed his car and I gave him money from my savings so he wouldn't lose his job. The nights I babysat for free so he could go out. I opened my mouth to say it, but then I saw Lily's face, pale, confused, hurt. She stood up suddenly. "I'm going to the bathroom," she whispered. Not looking at anyone. As she walked away, I heard her mutter, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause drama." My heart broke. This wasn't just about Adam anymore. This was about what she was learning from all of this. If I stayed silent, what was I teaching her? That her feelings didn't matter? That people could humiliate her in front of others and she had to swallow it for the sake of family? I sat there, surrounded by people I'd known my whole life, and I had never felt more alone. Or more sure of one thing: if I didn't change something soon, Lily would grow up thinking she deserved this, and I could not let that happen. Part 3. Expanded Outline 3, approximately 1,000 words. The breaking point didn't come in a dramatic explosion out of nowhere. It came on a quiet Sunday when everything looked normal on the surface. That's the thing about turning points. They rarely announced themselves. My parents had invited us over for lunch again. I hesitated before accepting. Lily had already started making excuses whenever she knew Adam would be there. "Do we have to go?" she asked that morning, fiddling with the sleeves of her sweater. I looked at her and realized how much less she smiled when family was mentioned now. "We'll go for a little while," I said gently. "But if you feel uncomfortable, you tell me." "Okay," she nodded slowly. Then she said, "Can I bring something? Like food? Maybe if I make something better this time, he'll like it." My heart dropped. "We're not doing this for him," I replied. "We're doing it because you like baking, and because Grandma would be thrilled to see what you made." She thought about it, then finally agreed. We spent the morning in the kitchen, making a simple chocolate cake with strawberries on top. She concentrated so hard, wanting the frosting to be smooth. The fruit arranged perfectly. When we arrived at my parents' house, my mom's face lit up. "Oh, this looks beautiful," she said, kissing Lily's cheek. "You made this yourself?" Lily nodded, just a tiny bit more confident. We set the cake on the table. The house smelled like roasted chicken and garlic and lemon. The TV was on in the background. My dad was in his usual spot. Then Adam walked in. "Hey," he said, dropping his keys on the counter. "Smells good?" His eyes landed on the cake. "What's this?" "I made it," Lily said quietly. "For dessert." He walked over, inspecting it. "Huh," he said. "Well, let's hope it's not as cheap and tasteless as last time, right?" He said it with a grin. Like it was nothing. Like he hadn't just stabbed the same old wound. I watched Lily's shoulders slump. Her eyes went blank. She took a small step back, as if she wanted to disappear into the wallpaper. Something inside me snapped out, my heart pounded. But this time I didn't shove the feeling down. I let it rise. I stood up straighter. I heard my own voice before I had fully decided what to say. Adam, I said. That's enough. Everyone looked at me. Dot, he smirked. What now? Enough, I repeated. I'm done listening to you insult my daughter's kindness. I'm done pretending your cruelty is a joke. He blinked like he hadn't expected genuine pushback. Oh, for here we go again, he scoffed. You're embarrassing yourself. No, I said. I'm protecting my child. My mom wrung her hands. Emma, can we not do this today? Let's just eat. I turned to her. My voice shook, but I didn't back down. Mom, every time he does this, you tell us to just eat, to ignore it, to let it go. Look at her. I pointed gently toward Lily, who stood frozen beside the table. Does she look okay to you? Everyone's gaze shifted to her. She was staring at the floor, eyes glossy, cheeks red. I'm fine, she whispered. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? I asked softly. She didn't answer. I looked back at Adam. You called her gift trash. You've mocked everything she tries to do. And you act like it's funny. Like you're helping her grow thicker skin. But what you're really doing is teaching her that her love, her effort, doesn't matter. He rolled his eyes. You're twisting things. I'm just being honest. The world doesn't care about your feelings, Em. Better she learns that now. The world might be cruel, I said, but family is supposed to be the safe place. If she can't feel safe here, then this isn't family anymore. It's just people she shares DNA with. My dad spoke up, his voice stern. Emma, that's harsh. I met his eyes. For once, I didn't look away. You're right, I said. It is harsh. Just like watching your granddaughter slowly believe she's a burden because nobody will stand up for her is harsh. Adam scoffed again. Oh, please. You're acting like I punched her? I made a comment about a gift. You turned it into a soap opera? I felt years of swallowed words rise up all at once. It wasn't just one comment, I replied, my voice gaining strength. It's the pattern. The jokes about me being a single mom. The digs at our money. The comments about cheap things. The way you know exactly where everyone's insecurities are and you poke them for fun. I took a breath. My hands were shaking, but I kept going. Do you remember when you crashed your car? I asked. You called me crying because you thought you'd lose your job. Who gave you money from her savings to fix it? He frowned. What does that have to? Who paid your credit card minimum that time you blew it on a Vegas trip? I continued. Who took extra shifts so you wouldn't get sent to collections? My mom looked between us, confused. Emma. It was me, I said, my eyes locked on Adam. I did all that. Quietly. Because you were my brother. Because that's what family does. I didn't call your choices cheap, worthless trash. I didn't mock you in front of everyone. I helped. His jaw tightened. So what, you want a medal? No, I said calmly. I want you to understand that the people you treat like they're beneath you are the same ones who have carried you. And I want my daughter to see that love does not look like humiliation dressed up as honesty. The room was so quiet I could hear the ticking of the kitchen clock. My mom spoke softly. Emma, can't we just smooth this over? I shook my head. Not this time. I'm not going to let Lily grow up thinking she has to accept this behavior to keep the peace. Adam scoffed. So, what, you're going to cut us off? Keep her away from her grandparents because you're offended? I looked down at Lily. Her small hand had found mine sometime during the argument. She was gripping it tightly. I squeezed back. I'm going to keep her away from anyone who makes her feel worthless, I said. If that means less time around people who refuse to respect her, then yes. Even if they're family. My dad's face hardened. That's extreme. What's extreme? I replied quietly. Is a 10-year-old apologizing for making a cake because she's afraid it's not good enough for her uncle? What's extreme is a child questioning if her love is cheap because of a man who can't control his tongue. I turned to my parents, tears stinging my eyes. I love you. I always will. But I will not sacrifice my daughter's self-worth to belong at this table. Then I looked at Lily. Go get your jacket, sweetheart, I said gently. We're going home. Her eyes widened. Are we in trouble? I knelt in front of her. No, I said firmly. You're not in trouble. You're being protected. And that's my job. She nodded slowly, then went to get her things. Behind me, I heard Adam muttering something about me being crazy. My mom called my name. My dad sighed heavily. But for the first time, I didn't twist myself into knots to make everyone else comfortable. I picked up the cake from the table. We'll take this with us, I said. We're going to enjoy it at home. We walked out the door. My heart was pounding, but with every step away from that house, it felt a little lighter. In the car, Lily sat quietly, staring out the window. After a while, she whispered, Mom? Yes, are they mad at us? I took a deep breath. They're upset, I said honestly. People get upset when you set boundaries they don't like. But that doesn't mean we're wrong. She was quiet again. Then she asked, did I ruin everything? With my gifts? And my cake? My chest ached. No, I said, reaching over to squeeze her hand at a red light. You didn't ruin anything. You gave love. They didn't know how to receive it. That's on them, not you. Tears filled her eyes. Thank you for standing up for me. A cold fear ran through me, mixed with fierce love. I'm sorry it took me this long, I replied. But I promise from now on I will always choose you, even if it makes other people uncomfortable. In the days that followed, my phone buzzed constantly. Messages from my mom asking me to apologize to keep the family together. Texts from Adam calling me names, saying I was poisoning Lily against them. I responded once to my parents. I wrote, I'm happy to talk when we can all agree that Lily deserves kindness and respect. I won't bring her into an environment where she is mocked. This is not revenge. This is protection. Then I put my phone on silent. Weeks later, my mom showed up at my door. She looked tired. Older somehow. She asked if she could come in. We sat at the table, a half-finished puzzle spread out in front of us that Lily and I had been working on. I didn't realize, my mom said quietly, looking at the puzzle pieces, how much it was hurting her. I didn't say anything. I just waited. I thought we were just joking, she continued, teasing like families do. But then I was folding laundry and I found one of her drawings in my bag. The one of her and Adam at the park. She'd drawn an X over his face. My mom's voice cracked. That's not a child who feels safe. Tears filled my eyes. I don't know how to fix all of this, she admitted. But I want to try. I want to be better for her. For you? I nodded slowly. That starts with not making excuses for him, I said. If he wants to be in her life, he has to change how he speaks to her. And if he won't, then you have to accept that we'll keep our distance. She wiped her eyes. I understand. We're still figuring it out. Some relationships are still strained. Adam and I barely talk. When we do, it's polite and distant. He thinks I overreacted. Maybe he always will, but Lily? She's drawing again. Her walls are filling up with color. She laughs more. She still asks hard questions, but now they sound different. Mom, she said recently as she taped up a new drawing, how do you know if someone really loves you? I thought about everything we'd been through. You know someone loves you, I said, when being around them makes you feel safe, not small. When they correct you with kindness, not shame. When they treat your heart like it's valuable, not like it's cheap, worthless trash. She smiled a little at that. Like you did, she said. When you took the cake and walked out. My throat tightened. Yeah, I whispered. Like that. My younger brother picked up the gift my daughter gave him and called it trash. For a long time, I thought the real story was about his arrogance. But now I see it differently. The story is about the moment. I finally realized that being a good sister didn't mean sacrificing being a good mother. And when I had to choose between keeping the peace and protecting my daughter, I chose her, and I would choose her again. every single time.